Modern walls and pillars. Lesson 2. Aerated concrete blocks. Introduction. Aerated concrete masonry block has excellent thermal insulation properties and low density, making it lightweight and fast construction possible. Other advantages include good acoustic properties, plaster resistance, easy cutting and carving, and high dimensional accuracy. Nowadays, blocks can be plain, hand grip, or tongue and groove items. The blocks are laid in a stretcher course only, with typical lengths of 50 or 60 centimeters and widths of 30, 37.5 and 50 centimeters, which determine the wall thickness. The average height of the blocks is 20 centimeters. The typical joint size is 1 centimeter, which gives a course height of 21 centimeters. As it is shown, the plain blocks should be laid with a vertical mortar joint. In this case too, the blocks are laid according to the general rules for brick bonding, but the vertical joints do not have to be in the center axis. However, the connection between the blocks must be at least 12.5 centimeters. The preceding information also applies to hand grip blocks, and mortar must be used for vertical gaps. However, the vertical joints of the tongue and groove blocks are already dry built. Furthermore, in this case, only thin bed masonry mortar can be used. This results in joints only 2 mm thick, which is both material saving and significantly reduces the amount of thermal bridging. Particular attention must be paid to precisely adjusting the level of the first course, similar to thin mortar solutions for clay blocks. Wall junctions. Using a sample wall, we will investigate the wall connections of 37.5 cm wide aerated concrete masonry block. The type of blocks used is a tongue and groove one with handles, which measures 37.5 by 60 by 20 centimeters. The allocation of blocks is planned as follows. Wall corner. Start the course with a whole block from the corner in alternating courses, and the joints will be correct throughout the wall. The wall thickness of 37.5 centimeters and an element length of 60 centimeters give an offset of 22.5 centimeters in both connecting walls, greater than the minimum requirement of 12.5 centimeters. Wall end. When forming the wall end, we also start with a whole block in the first course. In the next course, place a cut block on the wall end by the block bond plan. As previously planned, the cut blocks will be half, that is 30 centimeters. T connection. In our example, we assume that our main wall section already contains 2 wall corners, bonded as described earlier, with whole element distances from the corners to the sides of the perpendicularly adjoining wall. Based on this, the bonding overlaps are 22.5 centimeters in both directions, in a symmetrical setting. We bond the adjoining wall to the main wall already in the first course, placing a whole block. Because of the wall width of 37.5 centimeters, the piece of 60 centimeters length will overhang the main wall with 22.5 centimeters. This will be the overlap size in this wall section too. In our main wall, 2 cut elements will be symmetrically placed upon the adjoining whole block, placing the joint on the center line of the joining wall. The length of the cut elements is 56.5 centimeters, leaving a vertical joint of 1 centimeter that we fill with mortar. Construction phases. 1. We set the walls, connections and openings on the reinforced concrete slab with a chalk line. 2. The damp-proof course under the wall is fixed to the reinforced concrete slab, and the crucial points are marked again. 3. 2 to 3 centimeters of mortar is applied for the first course using a trowel, a leveling tool and a leveling bar. 4. Place the whole blocks of the corner and the wall ends into the fresh mortar layer. For the T-junction place, 2 cut blocks symmetrically onto the central axis of the adjoining wall and fill the vertical joint with mortar. The size of the cut elements must be 48 centimeters, so to maintain a half offset, 30 centimeters, in this section of the wall, closed by the 2 wall ends. The whole block of the adjoining wall butts into the main wall. Use a leveling bar and a rubber mallet for horizontal and vertical adjustments. 4. A masonry cord is stretched out between the already placed blocks, and the filler, stretcher masonry, is done here. The blocks will be laid along the original plan without any vertical mortar joints. 5. Check the levelness and sand the surface if there is more than 1 millimeter of unevenness. 6. Starting from the next course, thin mortar is used, which is applied to the surface with a mortar roller. This time too, the key blocks are placed first, the whole block of the T-junction, and the half bats of the wall ends. 7. Again, we use masonry cords for laying the filler, stretcher blocks. Using the leveling bar and rubber mallet, ensure the level and plumb as earlier, while alternating the 2 types of courses.